good morning, good afternoon, or good evening again, of course, from where you're hearing my voice from. This is the Biafra Golden Child, and once again, I'm happy to come your way to discuss Biafra, intimate us on things pertaining to Biafra, highlight achievements in Biafra, talk about new developments in Biafra. That is what we do, you know, that's what the Biafra Golden Child is all about. We talk about Biafra, what it represents, what we see it represent, what we see it doing, what we expect it to be doing, and what we hope to achieve at the end of it all. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. I'm happy to interact with you once again via, of course, the Biafra Superstars Media. I'm grateful because when we come here, we call a spade, not an agricultural instrument. And I'm happy a lot of people commend us, for being fearless, for saying it as it is, you know, not in any way, beating about the bush, but going right into, you know, whatever topic and whatever issues, whatever news we want to give at that point in time. And so you're all welcome, great freedom lovers, people of Biafra. Of course, we are you know, looking and watching with, rapt interest, with bated breath, how the trial of our maximum leader, Mazen is ongoing in this month of June. We have seen how Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja, Court 7, how he's moderating the trial process. Of course, we are happy equally to see that, most of the so-called efforts, uh, clandestine activities of, the prosecuting, uh, the prosecutors have failed when they brought in their hooded witnesses. They thought they were going to intimidate anybody. When they brought in their audio and videos, they thought they would use that to implicate our maximum leader, you know. But to God be the glory, all their efforts, all their plans, all their clandestine movements, all their secret activities have been exposed and it's not achieving, the things they were expecting. They're not getting what they're getting. They are not getting results they're getting. They are not winning as they thought they were winning. They are not implicating our maximum leader the way they thought they could implicate him. And so they are very unhappy. Yes, of course, they're very unhappy because from onset, they thought it was going to be business as usual. From offset, they thought it was going to be, what happened in the last administration of PMB, President Mohamed Buhari, where, our Muslim leader was treated, with maximum wickedness and, most totally unbearable, hardship and difficulty. Of course, because of the military background of that junta then, who was the head of state or president. Yes, this time around, we see the president who calls himself Emilio Khan, who, because of, his very, very ambitious ploy, very, very ambitious ploy, to still retain power come 2027, is reaching out to everybody, including Southeast governors who are dancing to his gallery, just to ensure that they too come back with him. Of course, because of the, you know, uh, ultimate ambition of Emilio Khan to continue in 2027, he's doing everything possible to win the Southeast at all costs. And our leaders, our so-called governors, our politicians are dancing to the gallery, dancing naked to impress him every other day. But of course, we are happy, sometimes when you think you want to destroy somebody, you inadvertently create opportunities and modus of oppression that could equally lead, to his survival. Yes, much against what your actual intentions are. And so this government have tried, to do everything it can, to subjugate, to intimidate, to terrorize, and to brutalize our maximum leader. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. But woefully have they failed. They have failed because, of course, when this Justice James Omotosho took over from Justice Binta Muritalan Yako, who recused herself from Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's trial, of course, because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu looked her in the face and said, Madam Justice, I don't think I can deserve, I don't think I can get any positive, any real trial from you, any justice from you, any fair trial from you. I don't think you should handle my case anymore. Recuse yourself. Go away and let me be tried by a more competent judge, a judge without bias, a judge without prejudice. Because I can see you are running an agenda for the cabal. Because, of course, you are worried about the fate of your husband. Yes, Vice Marshal Murtala Nyako, former governor of Adamawa State, who is undergoing trials with the EFCC, you call it, and your son, who became Infante Terrible in Adamawa, you know, harnessing so much money and gaining money, laundering and all that. And he has been arrested all that time. And you, madam, with all due respect, you are trying to dance to the gallery so that, of course, your husband's plight and the plight of your son could be reconsidered positively. Don't use me as a scapegoat, madam. So when Nnamdi Kanu, our leader, Muslim leader, came out and spoke vociferously, spoke with every alacrity, right in the full glare of the, mass media. The mass media of this country, the whole world watched, everybody watched. The woman had no reason, she had no choice whatsoever than to recuse herself. And then there's Justice James Omotosho came in. I don't know, he started by apologizing and, wishing that the trial of our Muslim leader had actually commenced earlier than this time. And he equally felt that our Muslim leader had suffered so much in the hands of, the government and the prosecutors. And he said, look, I want it to be on record. I want to don't want stains on my hand or stains in my future or in my life. I know I'm going to depart this world someday, and here I am handling this man. I want to assure everybody I'm going to be as transparent as I can, and I'm going to make sure this trial is done speedily. So back to back now, since the month of May, when this trial started, we have seen, a resolute, yes, a deliberate tendency for, James Omotosho to want to do the right things and to want to quicken the process. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not prejudging any matter, but I'm happy to say that most of the prosecuting evidences and witnesses and exhibits, that the prosecutors thought they would use to nail, and destroy the image and quicken the conviction of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has failed woefully. Failed woefully. Yeah, but that's by the by. That's by the why. Ladies and gentlemen, the audio of this morning is very interesting. Very, very interesting. And if you give me your ears, if you grant me your audience, I'll put you through it. Yeah. The title of this audio is Who Are the Enemies of Nnamdi Kanu in the Southeast? Who are the Biafrans? People of Igbo extraction, Biafran extraction, who don't want Nnamdi Kanu, released? Who are those who want him convicted? Who are those who continue to shout and proclaim him as a terrorist and saying that the government should be done with him? They shouldn't treat him with kid gloves. Who are those who are writing letters, writing petitions, to the James Omotosho's council, telling them that, look, this guy you're treating this way, he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve all these accolades. He doesn't deserve all this, fair treatment. The guy is a terrorist. If you release this guy, if you grant him pardon, if you don't convict him, he will continue to be a pest to the Southeast. He will continue to make the Southeast ungovernable. This man that you have in your kitty, this is the best time to handle him. This is the best time to convict him, because if you miss this chance, the chance may never come again. Yes, these people are forwarding petitions to Emilokon, to the government, everywhere, to the Senate, saying, hold this man responsible, for the calamities in the Southeast. Hold him responsible for the killings in the Southeast. Hold him responsible for all the kidnappings. Who are these people who are saying and proclaiming Mazen Nnamdi Kanu a terrorist? Yes, somebody who must be got rid of at all costs for peace to reign, for developmental processes to mature. Who are these people, ladies and gentlemen? And so this is what this audio will try, to navigate this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, who are the enemies of Nnamdi Kanu in the Southeast? Who are the enemies of Nnamdi Kanu in Nigeria? It will surprise you to note, ladies and gentlemen, that all the people who have been clamoring, all the people who are pushing for the conviction of our maximum leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, are none other than Ndibo ourselves, and none other than Igbos ourselves. These are especially the governors of the Southeast states. These are senators, former governors who have become senators. Why do former senators in the Southeast, why do governors in the Southeast, see our maximum leader Nnamdi Kanu, as someone they must try to destroy at all cost? Why do they want him dead or alive? They want him convicted, dead or alive. Why do they want his trial to be delayed and so that he will continue to be at the DSS dungeon? Why do they want him out of, normal social life of Ndibo, of his people? Why do they want him out of circulation at all costs? Ladies and gentlemen, the answers to these questions are not far-fetched. The answers to these questions are not far-fetched. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to follow me. Come with me. We have seen several times in the past when several people, personalities from the Southeast have come out to say, oh yes, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that man, we advised him, he refused to take our advice. We told him to mellow down, he refused to mellow down. We told him the right things to say and the right things to do, and he thought he knew it better. This man is self-serving. This man has a very dangerous intention. This man is totally against the peace and tranquility in the Southeast. This man does not want Southeast people to move forward. This man continues to hoodwink the people, pretending to be a lover of Ndibo, while all his interest, all his intents and purpose, is truly to aggrandize, wealth for himself, to achieve power for himself, and to pursue his own separate agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, enemies of Nnamdi Kanu in the Southeast are mostly our politicians. Who are the enemies of Nnamdi Kanu in the Southeast? One of the enemies of Nnamdi Kanu in the Southeast is Chief Senator, Chief Orji Kalu. You might ask why do I make such a brazen remark? Why should I make this kind of pronouncement? What are the facts and figures? Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Orji Kalu has never hidden it from anybody. He has not hidden it that he dislikes the personality of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. He has expressed it in every opportunity he has. When he comes out to say he doesn't know why people of the Southeast are still clamoring for Biafra, he doesn't know why they're listening to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, a man who is self-oriented, a man who is seeking his own personal, goals, a man who, uses his demagogue, his oratory powers, to deceive, befuddle, and hypnotize people. Orji Kalu, Senator, was a two-time governor of Abia State, and now is a four-time senator. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know, our Muslim leader Nnamdi Kanu is also from Abia State. He's also from Abia State. And Orji Kalu sees him as a threat. If this man regains his freedom, if Nnamdi Kanu regains his freedom, he will become a threat to me. His popularity, his fame, and the cloud, the people, the population of his disciples would quickly cripple whatever political architecture built in Abia State. He would easily dismantle everything I've done and make me politically irrelevant. That's Orji Kalu for you. You say Nnamdi Kanu is a selfish man who's thinking only for himself. But here you are, see him as an obstacle to your continuous manipulation of the people of your constituency. This is an Abia State where you served 8 years, 2 terms for 4 years as a governor with nothing to show for it, except, of course, bogus elephant projects that exist mostly in the imagination of your government, not what the people can say, not what the people can feel. Orji Kalu has been in government back to back now, both as 8 years as governor and a 4-time serving senator, close to over 20-something years in the same state, in the same government, in the same capacity, making so much money, acquiring so much assets, doing almost virtually nothing for his people, and only pursuing interest that he feels comfortable to pursue for himself and his cronies. Orji Kalu has never said anything good about Nnamdi Kanu. And at every point in time, when he has the opportunity to, discuss with the president, Emiloko himself, he has only said negative things. He has always attributed the unrest in the southeast, the crisis in the southeast, security crisis in the southeast, and especially the kidnappings, organ harvesting to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his Biafran agitators group. Orji Uzor Kalu is an enemy of Nnamdi Kanu. Professor Soludo is an enemy of Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafra movement. I hope you get it here when we say who are the enemies of Nnamdi Kanu. We're also saying who are the enemies of Biafra. Professor Soludo has the inordinate ambition to not only finish his first time in office, he wants at all cost to remain there, clinch it in 2027. And so he's ready even to sacrifice his mother, to sacrifice anything he has just to make it in 2027. We also saw how he spent a gigantic amount of money to receive the Emiloko as a special guest of Anambra State, where the man came to commission projects which are not in any way fully documented or enjoyed by the people of Anambra State. We saw him orchestrating the visit of Emiloko to Anambra State, where millions of money was recklessly, wantonly, and carelessly wasted just to put himself in the right step and to ally with Emiloko to justify and to clinch his 2027 ticket. The same Emiloko, the same Professor Chukwumacha Soludo is encouraging all the other governors of the Southeast embrace Emiloko for 2027. Come rally around him. This is the man of the people. This is the best president Nigeria have ever had. I will be with him to the end. All because he wants to remain politically relevant. He's ready to kiss the shoes of Emiloko. Professor Soludo is a hater of Nnamdi Kanu because he never says anything good about Biafra. He never says anything good about, the trial and the very, very parochial trial and mistrial for Nnamdi Kanu. He has never in any way said anything positive about the redeclared United States of Biafra. His ambition is to remain in power, remain there come 2027, and remain, maybe from there graduate to a senator. For such a cerebral academic gentleman, it's very unfortunate. Ladies and gentlemen, David Umahi, the former president, Engineer David Umahi, the former governor rather, of Ebonyi State, the current Works and Housing Minister, who has gone all around telling the whole Southeast, whoever cares to listen, is Tinubu or nothing. If you don't give your votes to Tinubu, you're wasting your time. If you don't come around and embrace the APC and the Miloko government, you're wasting your time. The office of the president in 2027 is not vacant. There's no vacancy in Asorok because Emiloko has been destined to be there. All the Southeast. Forget about your Biafra agitation. Forget about Nnamdi Kanu. Forget about the Biafra regional government and exile. Forget about this so-called, claim that the Southeast is being marginalized. You are not. Come out, all of you, en masse, and vote the Jagaban once again. Because in the Jagaban, without the Jagaban, there's no future. And when he's asked about Nnamdi Kanu, he says, leave that man. Nnamdi Kanu is a reprobate, self-centered man who is chasing, is a frustrated man. And frustrated people mean nothing. They don't mean well to their people. The earlier you guys forget about Biafra agitations and come into the mainstream, recognize Emiloko as your de facto president, move forward with everybody, or else you're wasting your time. That is Engineer David Umahi. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Mba of Enugu State is a hater of Biafra, is an enemy of Nnamdi Kanu in the Southeast. Peter Mba is always criticizing the sit-at-home order. Peter Mba is always criticizing why people are clamoring for the redeclaration of Biafra. Peter Mba has not hidden it. He has not hidden it that he does not believe in the agitation. They all say, look, come on, like David Umahi said, come on board. The door is still wide open. Come on, while you can stay coming. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Biafra is an imagination that you can never achieve. It has died since 1970. Let's face it, we were defeated. We were defeated in 1970, and the then head of state was magnanimous enough to say, come, no victor, no vanquish. You guys, why are you still talking Biafra? Are you going backwards? Are you daydreaming? Come on. Wake up from your slumber. You are daydreaming. Biafra will not take you anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Mba has never motivated the Biafran spirit. He has never said anything good about Nnamdi Kanu. He has never, even for once, said, look, this man's trial is unfortunate. Why not give him a fair hearing? Why not give him unconditional release? That's very unfortunate, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of them. Naya Baribe, yes, at one point, he actually stood shorty for the point when Nnamdi Kanu was initially granted bail. He shorted him, yes. And unfortunately, our Muslim leader had to break the bail bond because, of course, there were threats to his life and property. Not just threats, there were actual threats because in the process, a lot of people were killed, even in his country home in Umahi. Ladies and gentlemen, though even though in recent times we can see that it seems Naya Baribe is beginning to have a rethink. He's beginning to align himself with some of the tenets of, the liberation struggle. Sometimes he says, look, this man should be released unconditionally. Sometimes he says, why is there this pathological hatred for my people? Why are you marginalizing my people? Look at the lopsided, employments, appointments by this government. How many people are you? Where are you putting my people? How many people are in church places? How many Southeast people are in church places? Sometimes he speaks, like he's coming out of, you know, yes, I guess I can say he's having a rethink now. He's joining, coming back. Yes, coming back gradually. But equally, he is from Abia State. He sees Mazen and the Kanu as a threat. This man will come. He has a lot of followers. Even if he decides today, if he's released today and he wants to be a governor, I think he's going to have it. And of course, we all know that in Berebe, he still has his eyes in the governance and government position of Abia State, which was denied him when he was deputy governor to Orji Kalu. Of course, most of the Southeast governors hate and are scared, let me use the word scared, quote unquote, of the widespread acceptance of Nnamdi Kanu. They're afraid of the huge mammoth followership that this young man has garnered for himself. It shocks them that people can defy threats from the police, threats from the security, threats from even governors of their states to obey, things concerning Biafra. For instance, like the 30th May sit-at-home order declaration as to the Biafra heroes and heroine day. These governors are afraid that this man who, even though he's not belonging to a political party now, even though he's not a governor now, but he has so much strength at his disposal. He has so much power, so much influence. If we don't checkmate this man, tomorrow we'll be sorry for ourselves. Our legacies will be sorry. They will just throw us overboard. If this man is released, we'll be in trouble. We'll live. We might lose all our political architectures, foundations that we have laid down with money, with bribery, and with intimidation. Ladies and gentlemen, there are real enemies of Biafra, and all these people are enemies of Nnamdi Kanu. Francis Winfrey of Ebonyi State, the young man governor who said he never expected to be a governor, who said his father had hoped so many children, he never expected to have climbed this far. This gentleman, for reasons best known to him, because he wants to remain within the corridors of power, is dancing like Professor Charles Soludo of Anambra State, is moving towards pandering towards the Jagaban, towards the APC. And of course, the man who put him there, his principal, the works minister, former governor, David Umahi, Francis Nwifuru, has done so tremendous wrong to Igbo land. When his people in Ebonyi are attacked by Fulani jihadists, when their villages are burnt, when their farmlands are destroyed, when people are killed and maimed, when women are raped, and carried away into, uh, uh, moved away from Ebonyi land by the Fulani jihadists. This man looks the other way. He looks the other way, and let the Fulani people have their way. Because, of course, he's interested, in remaining in power. Because, of course, he's dancing, to the tunes of his godfather, the former governor, now works minister. Of course, because he's eyeing 2027. It's unfortunate what our southeastern leaders have become. They come and deceive our people to give them votes. They deceive our people to cast votes to them, promising to bring the much expected dividends of democracy to the people. But as soon as they climb into power, as soon as they get that position, they turn their back on the people. They surround themselves with bouncers and security aides who prevent any person to come near them. They change their phone numbers and they become a terror to the people who elected them. Whoa! Shame to the governors and political leaders, senators of the Southeast who have turned their back on their people. These are the people clamoring, sending petitions daily against the release, unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu. It is all over the mass media. It is all over the place. It cannot be hidden. Ladies and gentlemen, when Sunday Igboho of the Ududuwa fame, the one who was fighting for the Ududuwa freedom, when he was arrested during his trial, we saw the whole governors of the Southwest. We saw the whole leaders of the Southwest, political leaders, coming out, screaming on headlines all over the social media. Yes, all over the mass media. Release him. He's done nothing. We are with him all the way. We are with him all the way. Set our brother free. He has done nothing. They all vigorously, vociferously, and fought vehemently for the release, unconditional release of Sunday Igboho. But ditto to the Southeast, no governor, no senator, no House of Reps leader, no political leader has been clamoring for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. They have left him to his own fate. Secretly planning, clamoring for his continued detention, and they're hoping that he will be adjudged guilty at the end. But of course, we are serving a living God. None of them will achieve their selfish aims. We know Yahweh has decreed that his prophet, our Muslim leader, Nnamdi Kanu, will never be disgraced. No matter their hatred for him, no matter what they think they will achieve by continuously encouraging and facilitating and pressuring that he be detained, continuously be detained at the dungeon of the DSS. At the end of the day, they will be disgraced because Nnamdi Kanu's popularity will continue to soar and soar above the high heavens because he's a righteous man, because he's a sincere man, because he's a transparent man, because he has never abandoned his people. He is not using and dumping them. He will not use people like Lipton tea bag or like a tea bag. When you take their juice under the hot water, you throw them away. You will not use people like a ladder. When you climb into your juicy position, you push down the ladder. No way. Nnamdi Kanu is not like that. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I wouldn't want to dwell much of this because of the trial that is ongoing. But the enemies of Nnamdi Kanu shall be ashamed, shall be put to shame at the end, whoever they are, no matter how highly placed, politicians that they are, leaders that they are, so-called leaders, who come in sheep's clothing, but actually wolves in sheep clothing. They come smiling, thinking you're smiling with a lamb, but the fangs are hidden under those smiles, waiting to destroy, waiting to kill, waiting to maim, waiting to do the worst harm, to an unsuspecting person. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to, let me not dwell much on this because of the current trials. I don't want to call names that, might begin to, but let's leave it at this. Leaders of the Southeast are our enemies. Take it or leave it. Leaders of the Southeast are enemies of Biafra, they're enemies of Kanu. That's how it is. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Until I come your way again. God bless you. Bye bye for now.
Yeah, Biafra, Biafra. Yeah, superstar media. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra. I wanna know. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra, Biafra. I wanna know. We going back to the land. We going back to the motherland. Biafra, Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra, Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land.